Cold open question of the week, Kaz.
What's up, Shoes?
You're looking good in the studio there.
Thank you.
You saw Lil Yachty present the new white fur U.S. title belt to Trick Williams on Friday.
Yes.
If you had a title belt and you had to replace the backing with any fabric, any pattern, any color, anything, what would you do?
Wow. I'd take it a step further with the fur. I'd probably go with the chinchilla. I don't know if they went straight. I don't know if it was like real, high quality fur that they used. I'm sure it was, but maybe it was
on
like
Trick's
pashmina.
belt.
Yeah, like it's
Trick's
either
belt is that's like Michael's like craft store white fur. That's nothing too fancy on there. Alpaca would be nice if it was those like tight curls, and like it looked really like some good wool. That would be good.
You start to think of the functionality of what makes the background of the title work. So I guess that's why folks always opt for a different leather skin or like a snake skin, something like that. But give me a chinchilla or alpaca backing on the belt. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's good.
Maybe like a Louis V, you know what I'm saying? Maybe a Louis V pattern in the back.
I was wondering about that. Like, is there a pattern that's actually, if it, Trick could pull off could pull off that sort of pattern, but it really has to be tight with your character, right?
Yes. I don't know if people look at me and think chinchilla. You know what I mean? Like maybe some Nike swooshes in the back. I could I'm a big Nike guy. We get a nice little swoosh, get a check.
Not a bad idea.
I'm shocked Roman Reigns hasn't had like a Jordan brand title belt made yet. Like that would go nuts.
Yeah, it would. Well, he's going through some big changes right now. He got his first shirt without words on it. That's I think. So that's a big look for Roman Reigns to have his own face just right on his chest. Maybe he'll open things up for the title belt picture. I don't know. The funny thing is, I think I would have said I want to have a gold on gold, but then WWE like produced those, for like the fans could buy them and stuff. I'm just like, okay, not as great as I thought it would be. Maybe a reverse $1 million belt where the strap is the diamonds. But the plates,
the inside's leather.
But the plates are no. It's diamonds instead. Oh yeah, I guess diamonds on leather, and then just what's not diamonds is the gold belt, like is the face of the belt. I don't know. It's hard to do better than the white fur.
The white fur is pretty solid. I could definitely opt for, Agbada or dashiki pattern, you know what I'm saying? Like make
there
a
you
real
go.
Nigerian, you know what I'm saying? Get some white linen. We love our white linen, our Nigerians, you know what I'm saying? So probably make that. I just feel like you just need something white in the background. Not like, in caucasity, but I mean just in the background.
Well, if you want to talk about caucasity, I could do mine with just a clear strap. Would that be good if it was just...
Wait. Like, do you remember those clear Air Force Ones that came out when like you could do like a clear strap?
A clear strap would be pretty hot.
On that. And like if you had if my gimmick was like I love my abs or something, and like
yes,
my
exactly,
abs are so fire, I would just be like, yeah, this belt is nice, but you still got to see the abs. And
narcissist Kaz. That would be great.
I'd put the actual championship medal in the front on the back of my title. And then where the title like gold plate would just be translucent and you just see my abs. And it's like, this is the real championship, right? Having this 8-pack.
Austin Theory is like taking notes furiously at home right now. All right, let's start the show.
Rick Rude is knocking on his coffin right now like, God damn it.
Welcome to the Masked Man Show with Kaz. I'm actually kind of getting sick, so they're doing the growly voice just really, really exacerbates things. I'm fighting it off though. I'm in the middle of a move, which is never ending, and tomorrow I'm actually physically moving the last of my stuff, so I gotta stay healthy through then. What were we? Can I tell you a random story to start things off?
What's up?
You know Rembert? You know Rembert Brown, right?
Yes, that's
I'm
my
not
guy. I
gonna.
love him.
I'm not gonna. I hope I'm not saying this out of school. It was so long ago, years and years ago. He texted me, and he's just like, "Hey, can I ask you some questions about Rick Rude?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course."
Mm-hmm.
And he was chasing a story. Just I'll skip to the end. That Rick Rude was alive. This is post his reported death in the frigid Northeast. Like, and there was just like people that hung out at the loggers bar that were like, Rick Rude is a regular here.
Really?
And it turned out to not be true, or at least not be writable. So, but what a crazy story that is. With Rick Rude, if you're listening to this right now, we love you. How are you doing, Kaz?
I'm doing good, Shoes. Like I said, in the station. Busy day here, as you can imagine. Raw was eventful. We got our annual Roman Reigns, y'all motherfuckers are broke, y'all can't fuck with me promo, which I love every year. It's an annual tradition. Drew
it's
McIntyre,
like a reset. It's like, just in case you thought you were going to get to cheer for me at this big event.
Yes. Just
in
case you thought I was going a little too babyface, just a teensy tiny too babyface. I got to remind you guys that Big Bang take a little bang. And that's my favorite
question
version
about
of
the
Roman
babyface.
Reigns. Yeah.
The babyface here presumably is Seth Rollins.
I think they're both baby faces here. I think this is
okay, but Seth Rollins.
This is my favorite. Is SummerSlam the unofficial babyface versus babyface pay-per-view?
That's a great question. You always see synchronicity when these things happen. When there's triple threat matches, there's two. That's a really good question.
Oh, not even just for this pay-per-view. I mean, just some of the greater SummerSlams in history have always kind of figured like a babyface or a babyface, like British Bulldog versus Bret Hart. You know what I mean? You got
Daniel Bryan versus John Cena.
Daniel Bryan versus John Cena.
Hogan versus didn't Hogan have a
was Hogan? No, Hogan and Warrior was
WrestleMania.
One. Yeah.
No, the mega powers exploded, I guess, at SummerSlam. Probably did they?
WrestleMania always feels like you need a real antagonist. You always need somebody to be heel at WrestleMania. For SummerSlam, they're always just like, you know what? The two most over guys. Let's just put them in the title match and let's just make it happen. You know?
Well, it's actually pretty. I mean, it's a chicken and the egg thing, I guess, because like we talked, I think last time, like they're clearly like pulling out all the stops right now, and whether it's specific to we need to sell tickets in Minnesota, or if it's more like we have a new philosophy and it's pull out all the stops. Don't wait. Just like if you got a big show and you got a big match, let's make it happen. The biggest match as possible. Whichever one it is, it's clear that they're doing it. And so it makes some sense that it would be, they don't even have time to get into babyface and heel molds like you would want to, if you had a long build. This is just like battle for the belts, this is like, let's get the biggest names in the ring and then we'll see what happens, which is, it makes it really hard to predict. We're not in prediction mode yet, but it's like, I'm reading tea leaves on Raw, and on SmackDown, just trying to figure out what's going on.
Let's talk about them tea leaves.
I was going to ask about Seth. Every time Seth comes out now in his newest phase with the black suit and the black shirt and the black tie, it feels like Seth's finally found like his look, right? Like he looks great in all the sequinedy, like crazy stuff that he wears, that he used to wear to the ring a lot. But this is just a very like a Seth Rollins who knows who he is for the first time, I feel like. At the same time, it's like, maybe I'm just old. This is like definitionally heel attire, right? This is like Marvel supervillain attire that he's wearing to the ring. Do you think, as someone who wears black all the time, have we come around as a culture that we can see somebody dressed in an all black suit, all with black shirt and black tie, and say, yeah, he could be nice? Of course.
He kind of looks like Nega Cody when he has like his black suit on. I don't think it really hits me until like you see them stand next to each other. It's like, oh, you're kind of like the Dark Knight version of Cody Rhodes. Like you're still a babyface, but you'll step on somebody's head. Like that's your finisher, right? Like so, and it's kind of been proven already. You know what I'm saying? Like Seth Rollins, sometimes kind of a good guy, sometimes kind of a awful person, but right now he's in his good phase. And black doesn't necessarily mean evil. Black never meant evil. Black is beautiful, baby. But when you're wearing all black, it usually tends to mean you are you're in the black hat. You're the knight.
Exactly.
You're the Dark Knight. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of says a lot that you could wear all black and stand next to Roman Reigns and be like, guy's actually not too bad. usually that's like the tell of like the casual fan, like, hey, everybody, we're not supposed to root for this guy. But when you stand next to a Roman, it's kind of like, oh, I guess he's all right.
Seth and Roman had their contract signing for SummerSlam last night, and it was actually one of the more intriguing iterations of a contract signing I've seen in a while. It did, of course, devolve into physicality. But that was sort of beside the point. They had a real promo battle. They combined like I'm guessing this is the only day that Roman Reigns is going to decide to show up to work, because they combined like the big promo standoff with the contract signing. And well, how did they announce it on the show? It's like a running series, a documentary series about the feud that they put in.
It was like a multi-part same show docuseries documenting the rivalry.
I'm like choking on this coming out of Michael Cole's mouth, like as if it's coming out of mine, because it's like, what are you saying right now? How you're doing a thing you always do with the new name.
We're gonna show y'all some vignettes. Enjoy them. That's what they should just say.
Was the idea that this is the more ESPN way that this would be presented? Like Michael Cole is the SportsCenter host, and you're introducing this like separate entity that's interspersed, sort of. You know what I mean? Like
like SC featured.
Yeah, yeah. Doesn't it seem like the way that's maybe what they were going for there? Like this is just another one of those real sports sort of things.
Do you ever watch SportsCenter on a Sunday during football season? Mm-hmm. Oh God, that is. If you needed a nice little tearjerker before you started your day, go to church. Sunday Sports Centers, when you got, they don't got them no more, but boy, when they let Tom Rinaldi call ISO and be like, all right, guys, clear out. We need some tears. I think that's what they were going for yesterday with that history of Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns and the Shield and all that. I still didn't think they really scratched the surface, but it's a 3-hour show. They ain't got that much time.
Well, the thing with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns is you can know the entire backstory. You can have the whole thing. You can have the whole book right there in front of you. The Seth Rollins Roman Reigns encyclopedia, and yet it's more just sort of emotionally valid than it is like historical. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A 10-year-old who's watching, who just doesn't, who's not like paying a lot of attention to the backstory, still gets it. Like this is the champion and the guy who used to be his friend who's just sort of like never been able to get there, and or get to that level.
It definitely feels like it's got a level of finality to it, right? Like clearly this probably won't be the last time they wrestle each other. Mm-hmm. But even though they haven't like built it as such, they've kind of been talking about it like, yo, we got to get this last one in before we can't do it anymore. And I don't know if Seth wearing all black is something to look a little deeper into, but I don't know.
Well, he also got like not irrationally, he got extremely upset when Roman Reigns referenced his injury history. And the look on his face, if you just screenshotted that, Seth reacting in the all black, you would be like, this is the greatest villain the pro wrestling world has ever produced. But it was a justifiable, you understood why that would trigger him. But at the same time, I was thinking what you're saying. Maybe we're winking at something that's going to happen. I don't know. As far as the matchmaking goes, I really just think it's get it in the ring. I think you said it exactly right. Let's do this before we can't do it anymore. And they don't know for sure when Roman Reigns is going to stop. They don't know. I think it's more of like a hedge against some inevitability at WrestleMania. How many times has Seth Rollins not fulfilled his personal WrestleMania dream because of injury or booking or, whatever?
I mean, that's kind of what makes the promo sting so much, because literally the last, 3 championship reigns Seth Rollins has had, mm-hmm. He's either had to relinquish it or we all kind of knew he was hurt going into it. Like he limps to the finish line of almost all of his title reigns. And I feel like when wrestling, you could kind of get personal and tell the truth when it's somebody you trust. Because they know that it's a great way to like get the angle going. So, ergo, you're able to tell a better story, do better work, mm-hmm. And you get that trust with a guy like Roman where he could just be like, hey, so what if you do beat me, huh? You're going to get hurt like you always did because you can't handle the weight of being me. And even when Seth Rollins at the end of his promo goes, he gives a soliloquy and he's basically like, I'm so glad I'm not you.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of felt like some cap. Kind
Did.
of feels like you've been trying to be Roman Reigns for a long time, or at least do the things that's made Roman Reigns successful for a long time. And, I didn't think I felt bad for him, but it just makes me wonder why there's such a level of this is it. This is a final thing. I'm closing the door on you to Roman and Seth. Like, what's going to happen? Like, I don't think like
part of that's
Seth
just
or Roman's gonna win, and he's gonna like raise his hand in victory or something like that.
No.
Like something's gotta give.
We put a pin in that because I want to talk about who's going to win. I think it's more just promotion. I mean, it's like WWE promoting like Randy Orton versus John Cena for the last time ever, but like it's clearly not like, but like this is not
the last time ever.
Yeah. I think that that part doesn't like bug me as much. I mean, that's not as itchy to me as some of the aspects of this, but I do think it's like there's a real stakes here. I don't know who's going to win or lose, but I feel like in some ways Seth is still like earning back his WWE main event. I mean, his WrestleMania main event spot, right? So like, what happens at SummerSlam will in large part dictate what happens at WrestleMania. If SummerSlam earns the WrestleMania rematch, I bet we'll be there. But again, you have to have this match now, so you guard against the yes movement. You guard against your Kofi Manias or whatever, so in case you just can't run it back. The fans might not let you run it back. Then at least we had it,
Yeah.
So it's
a quick sidebar on that. Like, you talk about the fans not letting you run it back and letting you have what you think is planned for you. I think that's kind of what's happened with Gunther, right? Like, it kind of felt like we were going Gunther, Brock Lesnar, like after the retirement angles and all that type of stuff. Like, it almost seemed like it was a sure thing. And then, bam, here comes Oba Femi. And we're just like, yeah, we're just going to do this instead, And maybe that's why Gunther's run post-Cena retirement's been sort of weird. But doubling back to the Roman and Seth of it all, Roman's always telling the truth about the guy, right? Like, not only did he say, you always get hurt and you don't carry the weight and you're trying to be like me, but he said all the great things you ever accomplished was because of me. And that's also pretty true. You know what I'm saying? Like, you mentioned Seth earning his main event WrestleMania back, or his WrestleMania main event back, right? Last time he got to do that, Roman Reigns was in there. But before then, it almost seems like he was either the opener or the show stealer. You know what I mean? Like, he hasn't been
or he wasn't there. He's been hurt for WrestleMania.
And that's the thing. And when you're hurt, and that's the thing that sucks about the injury, when you're hurt, you're not as reliable. Not through any fault of your own, but, when you're not on TV for 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 16 weeks, 20-something weeks, whatever, TV still got to get made. Things got to get built. Rivalries got to be told on TV. And when you're sitting home, you're not getting a chance to do that. So I think Seth Rollins' lack of WrestleMania main events isn't through, lack of talent. It's because of the injuries. So of course he was pissed about that, or at least he, showed he was pissed about that through the show.
But Roman framing that as like, you can't handle the pressure, like you can't hold it like I can, was a really smart framing. I mean, maybe it's what anybody in that situation would have said, but it really feels like with Seth, it's a series of injuries in search of a rationalization. I wish I knew why Seth keeps getting hurt. I'm sure Seth wishes what he knew. Wishes that he knew too. And now here's a possible solution. Sure, it's not like literal, but it's just like maybe I'm just not built for this. Like, that's got to kill you.
Yeah, I mean, that's it's not just the truth that always hurts. It's the truth that creates the self-doubt. And I think anybody who watches that promo could relate to that. Seth's last couple of promos, the promo that Roman said he fell asleep on last week, was him basically trying to get the fans to believe in Seth and be like, I'm just like you. And, I was once you guys in the crowd, and I can't disappoint that one kid in the front, and da-da-da-da-da. Which is really like, it's not like you've disappointed anybody, Seth. You're one of the most accomplished wrestlers in WWE history.
True.
You just got an incredibly unfortunate sense of timing when it comes to injuries. Like,
yeah, it's crazy. Maybe it goes back to the the is he partly a heel conversation. When Seth cuts those super babyface promos, like when he's talking about the kids in the crowd, he's kind of saying it in a mean voice. It's like
that's how he always talks.
Is it?
He's talking to the kids in the crowd. This is the good guy.
Yeah, well, he's slowly evolved into having a great wrestler voice. Like he's like a Shawn Michaels, where it's like
he's like Macho Man. He really is Macho Man reincarnated. Like his voice isn't so distinctly recognizable like Macho Man Randy Savage's, but you watch him do the ALS challenge with Manti Te'o on Instagram. And he's like, we're going to do the ice. Exactly. I'm just like,
but
the voice is so on. Cool. This wrestling voice is on.
When he's doing those babyface promos, it's like when you're talking to your kid and your kid's just like, Daddy, why are you yelling at me? And you're like, I didn't mean to. I'm passionate about this. Like whatever. Yeah. But I really enjoy, I enjoy everything about Seth Rollins right now. But just, just like snap judgment. Who's winning at SummerSlam?
Roman Reigns, without question. It would be a shock though, because it
would be a shock if Roman won.
It would be a shock if Seth won, even though my gut feeling is always believe WWE when they tell you they're going to do something, and they keep drilling home the fact, even though it's not like 100% accurate. I'm pretty sure Roman beat Seth a couple times, if I'm not mistaken, but. So all the big matches, it's always been Seth pinning Roman, and they keep making a mention like death taxes, Seth pins Roman one-on-one, da-da-da-da-da. So I want to say Roman's going to win. But I've also kind of low-key believed that Roman was going to take a break after SummerSlam. So Roman not being able to get over the Seth hump maybe builds towards WrestleMania again. Maybe it builds towards another big premium live event later this year where not only does Roman can't get the Seth Rollins monkey off his back, but like that helps give him another white rabbit to chase that he hasn't had to chase as a babyface. You know what I mean? Now they're both babyfaces, so that makes it a little awkward. So that's why I'm really interested in seeing where this match goes. It's like you can't just have a regular 1, 2, 3. All right, Roman, you're the man, buddy. We'll never do this again unless they I don't know. And if they even get too emotional afterwards, like if, they hug each other, like, oh man, when the last time doing this, you'll think one of them's retiring or something like that. So I truly don't know who's going to win this. But if I think
listen, I don't know. I don't know. Bruce, jump in if you know different than me, but I don't know what Roman Reigns' schedule is going forward for the next 6 months, but it wouldn't shock me watching this in a vacuum. It wouldn't shock me if Roman Reigns lost clean, did some sort of nod of respect on the way out, and then just disappeared for several months only to come back and not be worried about Seth anymore. They'd have to circle back around to it, but there is a clean way out of this. And it is, like you said, kind of what WWE is telling. Well, but I guess you could read that both ways. Is WWE telling us that it's impossible for Roman to beat Seth, or that Roman is due when they keep saying that over and over again? You can read it two ways.
Yeah.
But, my snap is that Seth's going to win, because I would just assume big baby face. They're all baby faces, like you said, but he goes over and carries the belt. He's there every week. It makes the same reason he won at WrestleMania. It's the same. It makes a lot of sense. But Roman Reigns winning, especially if Roman Reigns has a abbreviated schedule over the next 6 months, could be pretty interesting. Just for the sake of the story, you saw them have Roman Reigns win and then drop the title in a month, that would be really intriguing, because obviously they're trying to tell a bigger story, and you'd be intrigued by that. But yeah, it's a tough call. What about the other one? CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes.
I'm gonna go with the champ. I think CM Punk retains here. They mentioned something about Cody being addicted to the WWE Championship, and I don't think they've really I think addiction stories are always fun in wrestling for some reason. Eddie had a really good one, Jericho and Punk had a really good one, and Cody being obsessive over the thing that's made him, or the thing that's sort of so connected to his personality, especially in WWE as the championship. I like to see what it looks like if he doesn't have that for a while. I like to see what it looks like if he really is addicted to it. And you know how addicts behave. Addicts are irrational. Addicts, lash out. Addicts aren't the most reasonable people on earth. And I think there's a way we make that happen with Cody. But in addition to that, I just think a Cody loss here, and you can't necessarily just give him the same old, all right, we're going to run it back, should give it the old college try. Like, I got to see some frustration. I got to see some addict behavior from somebody who can't get their hit of championship gold. You know what I mean?
I love that. I love that way of looking at it. Is there a, I mean, these two matches are going to be viewed together, right? Night one main event, night two main event. When we do our post SummerSlam podcast, we will be talking about those two handcuffed together at the top of the show. Is there a win-loss combination of the two matches that you think would be a particularly bad idea? Like, does Roman and Cody walking out with the belts just feel like we're just more of the same, or whatever?
No.
Or like, I mean, I don't know that CM Punk is better than Cody. Better than Cody. I'm just saying as an example. Like, is there any win-loss combo you would avoid?
I would probably avoid going Seth Cody again. Not through anything particular. I just feel like those two, we've seen them both be champion for quite a bit. And I think the other combination of wrestlers as world champion make for a very interesting Survivor Series, especially if they go cross-brand. Like, I don't know how true it is, but yes, Survivor Series will have War Games this year, but it feels like there's been a groundswell of people who wants to see, a little bit of brand action, a little bit of champion versus champion sort of things there. So, you're doing what? Minute Maid Park in Houston for Survivor Series? Do you do Roman Cody 3 in Houston with champions? Maybe. I don't know. Do you want to see Roman and Punk run it back again after they've had arguably the match of the year this year? I don't know. But those are interesting.
I would touch that, man.
Yeah. Roman, when you do Roman Punk 2, it has to be WrestleMania or WrestleMania.
Well, also, I mean, I just think Roman Punk is one of those things where it's like you may have just done as good as you're ever going to do. So maybe we should just let that lie.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't believe that like passionately, but like I would definitely consider that. Especially these aren't like the biggest work rate guys. They're storytelling guys, and so it's like, how many more levels do you have to go to? You wrote the fucking novel. I think I agree with you that I would avoid Cody and Seth winning, if only because there's a subtle whiff of, how to put this, not exactly like corporate decision making, but it feels like Cody and Seth separately are fine. Together, it feels like we're making this from a like functional like merch sales point of view. Like you just we want to draw crowds. We want the kids to be happy. These are the two that we pick. You know what I mean? Even though CM Punk and Roman Reigns are immeasurably popular, Cody and Seth feel a little bit like we're steering the ship. It's not about the individual storylines. It's about a bigger decision. I would say that. Yeah. But and that's what you got to stay away from, especially when you have your biggest four wrestlers in the ring. I mean, in the same ring, but like the biggest four wrestlers in one event in two matches. Like there's always a way out in pro wrestling, but you really got to be careful. You can't mess with anybody, right? I mean, like if you bury any of these guys, that's a bottom line thing, right? That's like massive amounts of like merch not sold, and so it'll really be intriguing to see. I mean, I always say that, but I'm very intrigued. What else are we intrigued about? What happened in wrestling this week? What happened since the last time we talked?
Brock Lesnar, Oba Femi, standoff.
Mm-hmm.
Again. We got talk shit, get hit t-shirts. We got 5 rent-a-cops who went yeeted, and not Jey Uso yeeted. I mean, like really tossed out the damn ring. But Oba Femi. So now we got to look at these rent-a-cops and figure out who is going to be the next future world champion out of these no-name people in police outfits. All right, they're in Dallas, Texas. Texas, a wonderful wrestling state. So I'm sure you got a lot of guys from the area.
These are all Booker T students. I
could get possibly. Yo, so I'm gonna go with Homeboy 2 in between. You know what? Look at how God works. Homeboy that's literally in between Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. Tall.
That's your pick?
That's of those 5, yes. That dude seems like.
I mean, he seems very slight. If you think he's got to put on a bunch of weight.
It's all good. Slight's cool. People like slight.
I think I'm going to go with the dude on the far right. Just because the big beard, he's got a face that I could see people getting behind. Maybe the far left. I don't know. It's a tough call.
Well, WWE loves them some beards, all right? And that automatically disqualifies Homeboy in the middle, the baldy short guy, you know what I'm saying? I think he wrestled at DreamCon this weekend. I'm like, you're out of there, pal. Guy to his right, pretty stocky dude. Looks like he's in probably some pretty good shape. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go ahead and pencil him as a future NXT North American champion. Okay. Homeboy on the right. If I had to guess, I'm pretty sure he has a tag team partner that we don't know about yet, that when he gets to the main roster, they're like, oh, yeah, you know that team from such and such and such and such? I'm like, yeah, oh, he was one of the cops that Oba Femi threw over the ring. Oh, that guy, he's awesome. I think that's what dude in the far right is. Dude in between them, though, off rip, tallest guy in the group. That just seems like, all right, got some height on there. He's a little slight of build, but I think divine intervention placed him literally in between Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman in the screenshot for a reason.
Are we sure that guys 1 and 4, the guy you were just talking about and the guy on the far end, aren't already a tag team? They look like they could be brothers.
It's a possibility. One of those dude on the complete left. Remember Zion Quinn?
Yeah. I like Zion Quinn. I liked his first match.
Fucking terrible name. Like you looked at him, you looked at a Zion Quinn and be like, I can see that guy as a player.
Speaking of lookalikes, right before I just pulled up the video and there was a YouTube ad for Wheatley Vodka before. I don't know if you've seen this one. It has Hacksaw Jim Duggan in it. Like at Cody's throwing a backyard
for vodka.
Yeah, Cody's throwing a backyard cookout and Hacksaw is there. Hacksaw Jim Duggan in the year 2026, Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Brock Lesnar look a lot alike.
Wow. Wow.
Obviously, there's a mass difference, but in the face, like the
has
same.
Hacksaw embraced the man bun?
I think it's just he's getting old, so the receding hairline goes back. You know, like like it does look like it looks very similar. Maybe Brock should take that under advisement. Also, for Brock, what are we really not in a world where the shirt can just say shit? Like, is that? Like, I'm pretty sure you can buy a shirt with shit on it at like Marshall's. Like, can we not buy that at the WWE shop?
Nah, the Asterisk Industrial Complex will let us know that, like, yo.
Triple H is like, I got all this Asterisk stock from the DX days, and I
don't. Guys, we got about 30 Asterisks we got to use before the end of the year.
Just like, everybody wants the dollar signs to write ass, but no one wants the asterisks anymore. It's just it's just so funny that you would let your kid wear a shirt that said talk shit, get hit with an asterisk.
Oh, like, has there ever been a WWE shop t-shirt that is so unlikely to be bought by parents for their kids than a talk shit, get hit t-shirt?
Probably some Val Venus shit back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Well,
the famous Mystico boner shirt, but I don't know if that would have been the decision-making process. You're familiar with that one, right? I'm
not familiar with the decision-making process, but...
No, the Mystico shirt. You know what I'm talking about?
Nah, which Mystico shirt?
Just
with the penis.
Yes.
Yeah, when he folded it up, you know? Those are rookie moves, by the way, man. I remember I was watching American Pie or something, and it was like, yo, if you ever get a boner, just like put it in your waistband. I'm like, y'all do that? Like, that's just slide it down. Like, what are you doing? Like, and that's what the Mystico shirt looked like. It looked like he just whipped it up over the waistband and just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's really trying to hide the boner. It's like, whoa, bro, don't just slide it down. Just slide it down one leg. Like, the whole flipping it into the belt loop is nuts. If
I'm glad we got here today.
If one of you people who listen to the show hide your boners by flipping it into your waistband, please hit us up because you're a psychopath and I want to know what your thought process is.
Wait, so it doesn't stick out.
You have 2 perfectly good pant legs. You have 2 perfectly good pant legs. You don't have to junk it all in to the junk area. You can just slide it into one leg.
I'm just going to let the listeners handle this. I'm not going to get into this mess.
No? Just me? Okay. All right. It's fine. All good.
It's okay. I'm glad you're passionate about it.
Yeah, I'm pro hide your boners, but just not in your waistband. That's nuts.
Yeah, I just don't think. Yeah, okay.
It's Mystico's fault. Or Sin Cara. He was Sin Cara then.
This is a Mystico issue. By the way, you mentioned Gunther earlier. Can I just pivot here really quickly? Because he's not a part of this feud.
No.
I have a take.
Yes.
This is not like just to defend.
I'm excited for this.
This is not to defend Gunther against the charges that you leveled that he should have this spot and he kind of missed his chance.
Oh, no, I don't think he should have the spot. I just think that's how the cookie crumbles. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, but because I think you're right. I think you're right about that. I think Gunther is the new Undertaker. Hear me out. We're always
Undertaker.
We're always looking for someone spooky to be the new Undertaker. But what the Undertaker really meant was someone who was like, who didn't need the belt to be a top star. And I know Gunther's like character is all about the belt, so it's a little bit contradictory. But it's like Gunther is so big and yet so tertiary to what's going on like in the storylines. They have to keep inventing new feuds for him. So while we're concentrating on the retirements, which is a great bit, what we're missing the forest for the trees. All these guys that he's retiring are like the berserkers or the Kamalas, where they're just like, shit, there's nobody for the Undertaker to face. Who can we hire out of nowhere? Who can we we don't want to feed anybody who's really on the roster to him. So let's invent career-ending feuds. Let's invent Nick Aldis feuds. Let's invent, it's like everything it's like, it's putatively about the belt in the long game, but really, none of his feuds are about the belt. They're just about like something that's worth more than the belt in that moment. And that's what makes him Undertaker-y to me.
Okay, well, if he wants to be more Undertaker-y and you want him to be spooky.
I don't mean to be spooky,
I guess not, but you know what? There's nothing that most Americans and MAGA folks found more spookier than foreigners. So, I mean, if he just leaned right into the, if he leaned all the way into his, his Eastern European, where is he from again?
Austria.
Austria, yeah. If he just leans all the way into the Austrianness of it, oh yeah, he could be non-spooky Undertaker very quickly. It's like, oh my God, look at these crazy people and they're.
He should just be like, I've come to take your jobs, like your world championship jobs. That should be his gimmick.
Yeah, and then you get you can put him in the ice agent match where it's
I don't think Gunther is the guy that's got to be so worried about that.
This is such a Vince coded thing too, by the way. Like back in the day, Vince would have completely been like, gosh, these Americans, they don't trust these immigrants anymore. It's like, I got an idea. What we're going to do, we're going to put a ice agent in a pole match. There it is. And the winner gets to employ the ice agent to deport that dirty immigrant Gunther out of our country. And, now you're all the way in on him being non-spooky.
Well, if you want to make him a great heel, you should do the reverse. Because historically, despite immigration always being, in varying degrees, a hot-button political topic, racism and anti-immigrant noise is usually it's just heel shtick. Even if you agree with them politically, it's like all those people cheering, all those racist white dudes cheering for the junkyard dog in Louisiana back in the day. It's like we understand what is a metaphorical good. Maybe Gunther, if you wanted to be a heel, should just lean into the anti-immigrant shtick. He's just the Austrian guy, like some of these right-wing talking heads saying, "Get the brown people out of the country."
I work my ass off so hard.
I gave you the right way
to come here. I get my papers legally. I do everything the right way.
That's a heel I can get behind.
And you bring these. Yeah. Oh, I'd be all into that. And then Gunther's walking around with like little American flags. Like, I love this country more than you, more than my native Austria.
And then they could have him like he works with the GMs or with Triple H to like outlaw foreign wrestlers. All of a sudden, all the wrestling fans tune into Raw, and they're like, "Sorry guys, no Canadians, no Brits, no Irish people here anymore. It's
no
because
luchadors.
of Gunther." Yeah, exactly.
Gunther had everybody from the roster deported.
What percentage of the roster would that be?
Gosh, if you deported every single non-white American-born person,
American-born, right? Because there's a lot of people. Some people become citizens.
Word, and also like. Luca's white, but he's not American-born. You know what I mean? So it's like it's the white American-born player.
Yeah, it'd be a very different show.
Trying to
what
think,
else?
who would it be? I don't know. It's impossible to think. What else? So wait, who you got? You got Brock or Oba? Or is this not a
Well, let's do it. This is the too early predictions episode. Okay. I think it's Oba. I think in a vacuum, it's a kind of a toss-up, but I just can't. I mean, listen, we've all been working under the assumption that Oba Femi was going to beat Brock Lesnar in the rubber match since the first time they looked at each other, right? Yes. I mean, it's you're arguing against yourself to say otherwise. Now, there might be good reason to argue against yourself, but I haven't seen enough. I haven't seen enough to think anything else. And I think that the only logical thing would be like, oh, we're doing this again at WrestleMania. That would be like a Vince move. I don't think that's a bet anybody wants to make. You know, I mean, that Brock Lesnar is going to be healthy and available at WrestleMania just to give payback. Dude, Brock Lesnar, I mean, who's been an incredibly good soldier for the company, don't get me wrong, but like there's been a lot of Brock Lesnars in history that would I'll just say this. There've been a lot of people in pro wrestling history that would say, yeah, I'll if you put me over at SummerSlam, I'll do the job at WrestleMania and then retire after SummerSlam. Right? I mean,
like did Sean do that? Oh, no, he lost his smile. He lost his smile.
He lost his smile.
Dropping the title back to Brett, which is such a hilarious wrestling history phrase. Like,
who do you think came up with "lost his smile"? Is that a Vinceism?
You know, Sean came up with that, thinking that was the most heartfelt.
But who decided that was the catchphrase we're going to go with ad nauseum? You know, it's like every announcer is like, Shawn Michaels, he lost his smile. Like, what are we talking about right now? It's just so weird.
Lost his smile is such a funny ass thing to say. Oh my gosh. And especially when you find out what really happened. It was like, yeah, he was talking shit with a bunch of guys in Syracuse and they whooped his ass. Like, nah.
That's so funny. Shawn Michaels, I would love. There is no Last Dance I would love more than Shawn Michaels if you could just get the cameras. You know, if there happened to be cameras following him 24 hours a day for 5 years, like that would be the greatest wrestling documentary.
Oh gosh,
just Shawn Michaels talking shit in the bar. Career? Yeah, no, not like the Lost My Smile era, like the DX era. Just get in there, just like, what is this life like? You know, like that would be bonkers. Just watching him out in public. And you saw him in the ring whenever people would yell at him. He always had the line, right? It wasn't just like he didn't just do the like boo you to the person in the crowd. It was always like he went after them, you know? Yeah. And you could tell he had a lot pent up in there. Anyway.
That'd be so cathartic, yo. You know, when you get to just yell at the people like this.
You know what I'm really impressed by the way, is Scrap Daddy, Adam Pearce. Just because I was watching him last night and yeah, he was like the NWA champ, guaranteed was like cutting promos in the ring back in those days. But like he went from like never having been on television functionally, right? To being a guy who has to like hold down talking segments every week.
Wow.
Just watch him out there. And I was just watching him last night and just be like, well, Dallas, you know, it's just like so comfortable. It's like he was born with it. And yet he never did it for his career, as far as I know. He was just a wrestler, you know, it's kind of crazy. When you meet him, you know the guy, is he like come across as a particularly charismatic dude that you would just be like, here, take the mic, you can handle this?
You're talking about
Scrap Daddy. Like, does he strike you as someone just like if you didn't know he was a performer, would he strike you as a performer?
Sort of. Like, so Adam Pearce, when I was there, was still doing a production work. So like he was an agent. So he he was a lot of the mastermind behind like all the 205 Live Cruiserweight Classic stuff. He would do, some bigger matches here and there. But when I was there, he was the cruiserweights guy. But he pokes out of his suit, man. Like he'd wear a suit and you just see his freaking shoulders, like,
he's built
popping out the joint. And like, he commands respect when he speaks. Like, and he's very much a firm handshake guy, look you in the eye guy, like that sort of dude. But like Adam Pearce is awesome. He's one of the best dudes I've met.
No one has anything bad to say about Adam Pearce.
He's one of the most best dudes I've ever met in wrestling. And he is just but he's got a little. He could be a little Bruce Wayne-ish. Like if he's not wearing the suit, like if he's wearing anything else, he just seems like just a soccer dad. Seems like a regular dude.
Yeah, and when he does those videos from his car, I guess he doesn't really do that. Does he still do that? Like that is very soccer dad coded. That is that. Yeah.
Yeah, but then whether you see him in a suit or you see him sort of like getting in there with the cruiserweights and showing them what's what, you're just like, oh yeah, that's the motherfucking NWA world champ right there. Like he used to get busy, don't sleep.
Yeah, his career was wild, and I feel like wrestling fans, especially wrestling fans our age, like we're aware of him. He was always popping up in the background of other wrestlers' documentaries, and just like obviously when the NWA would be a thing, when they bring him in to do a big match. But it was kind of hard to know what to make of him. But he's just so good. He's so good at his job. I love the Haas GM era of wrestling. I don't care what anybody says. These two guys are really great. You think we're going to get Gunther versus Adam Pearce? I mean, not Adam Pearce.
Nick Aldis?
Nick Aldis at SummerSlam? Yeah. Is that a SummerSlam match?
Yeah. That's a big SummerSlam match, honestly. Like, that's a match that I really want to see, And I was never a huge... I'm not going to lie and be like, oh, yeah, like, I was bumping the Nick Aldis classics, like, back when he was in the NWA. But
there's not any.
I saw a good amount of him in TNA. And, I'm just always interested in guys that are like, don't make me take off the suit. Don't make me take off this headset. Don't make me come from behind this booth. Like any of those guys, that's low key one of my favorite genres of wrestling. One of my favorite moments ever. And it's like a nothing moment. But to me, I just thought it was so fucking badass was when I think Samoa Joe was on commentary. Mm-hmm. And I think it was Brock Lesnar or somebody that was like trying to like bully like Michael Cole or something.
Yeah.
And then all he did was just fucking stand up and adjust his jacket. And the crowd lost their like nothing is better than like leave my nerdy co-host out of this. All right. Like I can still get in there. I can still get in there and get busy, and especially if it's a guy that we all know, like a Jerry Lawler or Samoa Joe or any of those dudes. I love when that happens. And if you're like, I'm going to guess a good majority of WWE fans, you didn't follow Nick Aldis' career all the time, but like when he just showed up on WWE one day as a SmackDown GM, he immediately commanded respect. So you kind of just put two and two together and be like, oh, okay, he probably used to get down back.
His career, that's going to be a fun memoir when that comes out or shoot video or whatever it is, just because there's been so many weird twists and turns in it.
Yeah.
Like he was brought in to play this role. He was also brought in, I believe, at a time where his wife was employed, like potentially to be like the number 2 color commentator in the company, and like didn't. And for a lot of reasons, that just kind of like didn't happen. Mm-hmm. None because of Mickey's talent or anything. It was just like a weird moment. And then the moment passed, and and I know that Nick has always wanted to be a wrestler. Like he took this job, whether or not. I mean, this was the role he was cast for, but like he was, like he's always been not angling like politicking, but like he's always been ready and willing to get back in the ring.
Yeah. He's kept himself.
He's not that old. He's younger than half of the headliners out there.
I was about to say, like he's younger than a good portion of the top guys in WWE. So, is there a path to Nick Aldis just fully coming out of retirement and being a top guy? No, because then it loses its aura. You know what I mean? Like. Even Pat McAfee, who's like a pretty good wrestler, but like not like Nick Aldis in any sense of the word. Like just him standing up for Michael Cole with that Gunther match was
but
a pretty good match.
But
and
Pat
Gunther
McAfee,
could get a good match out of him, a lot of people.
As good as these Pat McAfee matches are, dude wrestles in a shirt, right?
Yes.
Nick Aldis, unless they put him in like the oversized Rocky sweatsuit, like I don't he's gonna look more physically imposing than Gunther in the ring.
Yeah, that's gonna be funny. Like when Gunther comes out, and then like I hope like Nick Aldis comes out like in a suit or something, and just slowly just wow, and then he just sees a fucking tank, and he's just like, all right, Gunther's in for a long night tonight. Like if the guy he might not have wrestled in a long time, but he's definitely not no pushover. So just look from the eyes from a guy who's like a casual watcher and just like, all right, I just watched WWE. That's the experience you're going to go through. It's going to be like, holy shit.
It would be really funny if after this match they went down the path of, like, if they actually made a storyline about him being a power-hungry booker.
Mm-hmm.
And he just keeps booking himself into the main event, or books himself into like squash matches, like finger poke of doom matches to like build up his rep. And then he like books himself into like the Survivor Series main event. Yeah. And then you have to, like, all these stories we've heard throughout wrestling history of the booker putting themselves over, like you could actually play that out on the screen until, somebody comes and beats the crap out of them.
Okay.
That's what we'd be excited about, right?
It should be.
What AEW notes?
I do have one AEW note that I want to ask you, Dave.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on the return of Hangman Adam Page on social media. It gets announced on social media. He ends up on Collision Saturday. And Bruce, keep me honest here. Did he announce that he had a vasectomy on Collision?
It was one of the long running Hangman Page having very funny lower thirds. That was the lower third, basically saying, okay, he left. I think he had another kid, or he was on a breast.
Got it. Okay, got it. So shout out Hangman. Good to see him back. And your thoughts on him? Pretty much saying like, "Hey, I'll never." Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that. Like, I think they could have made a bigger deal out of that. But like, your thoughts on him? Pretty much saying like, "Hey, I promise to never challenge for the world title. I'm gonna find something else to keep me occupied." Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is we're just gonna keep going. I'm gonna get the immigrants out of this sport. No.
I know it's going to keep me occupied, getting you
politics, right-wing politics. Not his thing at all, but it'd be a funny character.
Talk radio.
Yeah, I mean, I was sort of perplexed by it. I mean, it feels like Tony Khan guards some of these secrets so, like state secrets whenever someone's making a comeback, and they're like sneaking inconsequential people into the arena and like boxes and stuff, and then like Hangman Page, it's like, could you not figure out a way just to have him do something surprising and interesting at what is it?
Redemption.
Could you not figure out some way to work him in?
Honestly, last week when Kenny won the belt, when Ospreay ran down, I thought it was Hangman for a second.
Yeah, that would have been a right.
I was like, oh, it's Hangman. I was like, oh, wait, nope, shorter hair. That's Ospreay. Oh, okay.
So there's actually, remember when I asked you if one of these title switches last week was in response to the other? That's actually became a conversation online, separate from us. If the Punk winning the belt and Omega winning the belt, if there was any sort of exchange going on there in terms of listen, if you're involved in these, nobody's saying that they put the belt on Kenny only because of that, and that MJF got written out of All In because of CM Punk winning. No, that's not the argument. The argument is just did they do it on, or the question is, did they do it on Dynamite instead of at Redemption? Because they to steal the thunder, or did Punk winning that belt preemptively steal the thunder from a thing they knew was going to happen, that they were projecting very clearly that was going to happen on AEW television? I don't really care about it that much, but it's funny that it became a conversation, and it is. I mean, whatever. I mean, listen, Kenny versus Omega. Kenny versus Ospreay at All In was going to happen. Like, go back and watch now. I bet there's some supercut online. Like, the past 5 pay-per-views have basically had some segment where they stare each other down and talk about, like, this is going to happen someday. Like, this has clearly been Tony Khan priority 1, AEW priority 1. I mean, to put it on him irrationally, I'm not pointing the finger. But this has clearly been a top priority for the past year, to get back to All In, to have Ospreay win the title there. Like that, we were talking about it last year, and the question was, how can you keep the belt off of Will Ospreay for a year? Well, injuries helped a little bit, John Moxley and the Death Riders have helped some too, keeping him occupied. But they've done a pretty good job keeping him relevant and keeping him at the top and having everybody be hungry for that win. And I mean, as far as victories that we know are going to happen go, is Ospreay winning at All In like as big as it gets?
Eventually they gotta zag, right? Like eventually they gotta zag. Like AEW does this thing where you kind of know what's going to happen, but it doesn't take away from its enjoyment of it. It would be sick if Omega beat Ospreay in Wembley. Like, just break his heart, just destroy this man.
Yeah, after what you have to clearly have like a 17-star match, and then so like Ospreay doesn't lose anything in the process.
Every All In has ended with like the happiest of hometownish endings, right? Or something like that. Bryan Danielson gets his happy ending. Hangman Adam Page gets his happy ending. The first All In. What was the main event of the first All In? MJF gets his happy ending with Adam Cole. Eventually, and they're very telegraphed. Like, we know months in advance.
But this is wrestling, though. Right?
Yeah. Eventually, you gotta have something where you piss people off a little bit, Okay. And Kenny Omega beating Will Ospreay in Wembley Stadium, and
would
then
be
like, and mind you, dudes with the Death Riders, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Death Riders can be a little, underhanded, a little evil from time to time. Like, even though I think this is still 100% a Will Ospreay win, eventually AEW should zag. And this is a great opportunity to do that. And having Omega retain could be, especially if you have a better story to tell with Ospreay down the road, with like blowing it in the hometown and, changing his demeanor or anything like that, could be really, really good.
It's a Cody Roman 1 situation, really. I mean, you pointed it out perfectly. It wouldn't occur to me that he could lose, but this is maybe the most powerful card that Tony Khan has to play for, it's because that's nuclear. One way or the other. It's a huge amount of power. My guess is that Ospreay is going to win. When you talk about disappointing fans, I mean, Tony Khan is a traditionalist. When you have fans that are this passionate about the sport, that have been following your company, that watch every episode of everything, that fly out for events.
Yep.
Like, part of the deal is you're going to pay off the stories that you're telling them, right? I mean,
yes.
And yes, there are ways, like, historically, like, people always talk about like dusty finishes as if they're a bad thing and they're really, overdone. It just seems like it's laughable. But like at the core of it, a lot of those sort of false finishes are because the most important thing is sending the event crowd home happy, right? You have Dusty win at Great American Bash, and then the next night you say, oh, the NWA intervened, that pin did not count.
Right
then you go back to the status quo. So the idea is that you would get the best of both worlds. It didn't really work out that way, but I could see Tony Khan doing it that way.
Right here and now, and we'll wrap after this. Right here and now, we know the Dusty finish is wrestling vernacular. Me and you, Dave, are here to stamp the Cody finish. Ooh. A Cody finish is a finish that everyone knows is going to happen. It's telegraphed it's going to happen. You could bet your bottom dollar it's going to happen, and just because we're going to say, nope, fuck that, you lose. Wait another year to do it.
I thought the Cody finish was going to be where he pins, but his heel opponent has their foot under the rope like that. I feel like that's just inexplicably every big Cody loss. But you're right.
The Cody finish is losing the match that everyone and their mother absolutely swear to God believes you're going to win. That's the Cody finish.
I think one of the most intriguing things to me, and I'll ask Cody. I hope to ask Cody this someday. Is to the degree to which Cody literally, like, not in kayfabe, not in the half kayfabe of interviews, but in real life, the degree to which he feels like he failed in that moment, because it does seem like he did. And as a wrestler, it's a super gray area, right? It's like, okay, they tell me they're telling a bigger story, and this is a better finish. It'll work out in the end. But at the end of the day, it's like, couldn't I have done more to make it inevitable that I would have won at 39? If the crowd was going to freaking riot if I didn't win, if they thought there was a chance I could lose, maybe it would have gone differently. But that's the weird thing about wrestling, man. Weird thing about pro wrestling. I feel like I had more notes. I feel like I had more stuff to talk about, but I'm moving and everything's just a freaking mess now.
It's all good, man. Let's take us home, bro.
Want to do this? Kaz, you want to get some plugs in on the way out?
Yeah, man. Mornings tomorrow, Hot 97. As you can see me right here, every Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., 10 a.m. 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. Oh my God, this week is gonna be so freaking busy for me. Okay. Today, hosting semifinal party at Nando's UK in the city. The pop-up. I'm hosting it with Mero, my boy Corey Towns. If you want to watch the football game tonight, come through. I'll be there later this week on Thursday. We'll be at Fanatics Fest. My Hot 97 crew will be out there checking out everything. Definitely lots of wrestling stuff, definitely lots of sports stuff. Friday, I'll be hosting a panel with the Call of Duty folks at Fanatics Fest with Cooper Flag and Jeremiah Love of the Dallas
You're going to be with Cooper Flag? My favorite player, Cooper Flag?
Yes, that's your man. So I'll be there this Friday. And then after that, that'll be from 4 to 6. And then after that, I'll be hosting the 7 p.m. in Brooklyn block party, live from the block in Red Hook, New York, with myself, Carmelo Anthony, Monica McNutt, Kid Mero, and very, very, very special guests that I cannot announce yet, but you will see them when we get there. And then Sunday, I will also be at Fanatics Fest one more time, hosting another Call of Duty activation event with myself and Jimmy and Jay Uso, the Usos. So come to Fanatics Fest. Should be fun. It's one of my favorite events of the year at the Jacob Javits Center. It is Grown Man Sports Fan Coachella. Enjoy it. And then, I think I forgot something else. What am I doing Saturday? Saturday. Anyway, if I remember, I'll talk about it on Thursday. But that's it.
Yeah, come with a checklist next time.
I shall.
Cooper Flag is really my Mavericks fan. It's not a team with like a lot of history and identity like the Knicks or whatever, so but I'm not like super...
Oh, stop. You've seen an NBA championship.
No, I'm not complaining.
Lifetime.
I'm not complaining. I'm just not the dude. I'm not
you've seen an all-time great. You've seen an all-time great and an NBA champion in its entirety in your Mavericks fandom. And you got like the next great one like on your team already. Like you're good.
I have nothing to complain about. It has been weird. Like Luka was already super young compared to me. I'm like the same age as like Dirk and Kobe. So like when they were big, I'm just like, yeah, those are my sports icons. And just as they get older, the players get younger and younger. So it's just a little bit of a change of perception. But now my kids, see them and it works out. But when you're doing these podcasts or these events, you ever just like, it's kind of weird that I'm just hanging out with 19-year-olds.
Yes, absolutely. I just did, I was just in Vegas this past weekend doing hosting the NBA 2K tournament with Michael Porter Jr., Dylan Brooks, Andre Drummond, Paolo Banchero, Jeremiah Fears.
Dude, that kid's like 16.
George. They are children. And
Fears is
I didn't
so
realize
young.
how
and
much
George is only young.
These
a lot of those dudes in the draft
babies.
this year, I was just like looking at the draft previews. I'm like, these kids look so young. Like they were
born after I graduated high school, which kind of nuts to me. Anybody born after 2005 is immediately like, my back. I need Robitussin.
Yeah, that's wild. Well, anyway. The wrestlers are getting young too. We should bring this around full circle somehow. Anyway, anyway, we'll be back on Thursday or Friday. Actually, what do we pick? We'll be back later in the week. We'll discuss that after the show. Thanks to our producer Bruce Baldwin. Thanks to EP Ben Cruz. Thank you all for listening. We'll finally think of something fun to say here at some point. No place like home.
Mama?
Yeah, no place like home, boo your mama. We'll see you back here later this week, humanoids.
Peace.